Hey, what's up guys? So I'm actually filming this from my hotel room in Malaysia. So I just want to talk a little bit about the outbreaks that are happening around the world and my opinion on this situation. Coming from someone who's very critical of the media, especially Western mainstream media, as you know, I'm very critical of that. So I just want to say that I think one of the big reasons why the outbreak is getting so out of hand right now in the West, and I'm not trying to say this to politicize the situation. I hate that this is being politicized, and I'm not trying to do that right now. What I'm trying to say is the media is playing a role here. The media is affecting the situation, and I think you know that. First of all, I just want to say it's ridiculous that America has 9,000 people infected with COVID-19 because America was the first country to completely block China in terms of air travel. I believe back in late January, President Trump, out of political reasons, I believe, decided to ban all travel from Chinese people, regardless if it's business or a superstar. For example, Zhang Weili, who is a MMA champion, she could not get to America. She had to stay 2 weeks in Thailand, I think, and 2 weeks in the Middle East. She went through such hell just to get to her fight with Joanna. The fact that the US government treated China in such a harsh way by banning all travel and still having outbreak, to me that's just incomprehensible. The point of this video is to criticize the media. It has played a key role in this, and now I believe is making things way worse. The media tried to racialize this and make it seem as if Chinese people are so nasty and dirty and eating bats. There's been no proof that anyone got this from eating bats, and there's a video of a woman drinking bat soup that was in Palau, in another country. It had nothing to do with this virus. So that was just misinformation. My next point is the media was trying, while China did everything it could to stop the spread. And now we're seeing the numbers just drop. There wasn't even one new domestic cases of COVID in China today, as of, I believe, March 19th today. Not one. The only cases were from people coming back to China because they're escaping. Chinese people are trying to escape the US, Europe, and all these other countries that are not really managing the situation well. What I'm trying to say here is that the media, in its desire to politicize this outbreak, it was attacking China. It was saying, look at how China is so authoritarian, it's so draconian, locking down Wuhan, locking down a city, not letting people leave their houses, only letting people go out if they have to go shopping, forcing people into quarantine. And the media was trying to use China's extremely strict quarantine activity as a way to try to hit China, as a way to try to continue this false narrative that China is this evil authoritarian government when it's really not. I wouldn't be living there if it was. So that's what the media tried to do. And by doing so, it was trying to say, hey, look, in America and in Europe, we would never do that. We are Western democracies. Western democracies would never shut down cities, would never force people into quarantine. We are too free. We're too enlightened. We're not like the barbaric Chinese. By trying to politicize, by trying to say, look at China, China's so backwards, it's so strict. By doing that, you've kind of trapped yourselves now. The Western countries trapped themselves saying, we will never do what China did. And that's why the outbreak is exploding in Europe, exploding in the US, even though the US banned all travel from China. They have no reason to be having an outbreak right now, in my honest to heart opinion. So what I'm trying to say, a message to the Western mainstream media, which I know your agenda is just to demonize China every chance you get. I know the agenda is to make China seem alien and inhuman, when in fact China is so similar to the US and so similar to so many countries. It's a great country, it has many good things and it has many bad things, just like any other country. And if you've never lived in China, you really don't know how good it is. So the point I'm trying to make is, Western media and the people that own that media, the rich, look what you did. You have sowed this stupidity into your own culture. You've gotten people to believe that you should not be strict you should not take severe action in order to control a pandemic or an epidemic. You've kind of put that into people's minds that only a communist country, that only a socialist country like China would do such a thing. And therefore, your governments, your cultures did not take the virus seriously. So after bad-mouthing China for a month, after trying to smear China, those same countries are realizing that they need to do exactly what China did and be very strict. And even if you're not being strict, I'm seeing that the Western media is trying to coerce people, just using the media to try to manipulate people into it. So whereas in China, the government will just be like, guys, stay home. You need to stay home. These are the things you shouldn't do. And it didn't force people except for in Wuhan. Wuhan had a lockdown. But in my city where I was in Guangzhou, there was no lockdown. But instead of doing that, Western media is just coercing everyone, saying, you're a bad person, you're gonna kill someone if you don't stay home. If you decide to travel, you're basically responsible for murdering old people. So everyone's doing exactly what China did after attacking China for taking those severe actions that you need to take. The fact is, when it comes to an epidemic, our so-called rights and freedoms don't take the highest priority. Your freedom to go and travel or your freedom to go and party is definitely not gonna take the priority of everyone should be socially distancing themselves and staying at home, because that's the only way that you can stop the spread of a virus, that you just stay put. I think this is a big lesson for the Western media, that when you go out there and you attack a country for doing a good job, for doing what it's supposed to do, that's gonna come back and bite you in the ass. Because everyone that you're manipulating, everyone that's watching the news and seeing, oh my God, China, why are they locking down a city? Oh my God, they're so uncivilized. Well, actually, that's what you need to do. I did it in Guangzhou. I was social distancing for 1 month. It was very boring, but that's what we needed to do. Anyways, I just want to say that I love those countries that I'm talking about. Like, I love Europe, I love America, I love China. I've traveled around to most of those countries, and I love those places. What I'm trying to say is, let's calm down with our media. Let's get our mainstream medias which are owned by the rich to calm down and treat people like people and have some respect and dignity. Just like Zhang Weili, the strawweight champion of the UFC. She's like, stop the trash talk. Let's respect each other. If America, you want to take on China, that's fine. You see China as your rival and competitor, that's fine. But calm it down with the bullshit and the lies and the smears. If you want to beat China in a real way, with your skill, with your innovation, with your ability, not by spreading a bunch of shit that's gonna brainwash people, and then it's gonna cause, like right now, your unnecessary outbreak in the US. There shouldn't be one, and in Europe as well. You should have had the right systems in place to quarantine people, to track people. It shouldn't be like this, especially after making fun of China for a full month. All right, guys, I just hope for peace and understanding. I love you all. I love those countries. I hate the media. Peace and love.